Ooh, wait, don't that look good? I got a little a little stew in the stove, a la Ironhead 41, and we're gonna do it like a that. But I'll put that video up later. But as you can see, that thing is solid as rock. I can't move it. And I will see if I look through my archives, see if I can put up a video of what this used to be. This whole battery used to rock back and forth almost to the point where it hit the power steering. Not a good thing when you're wandering around the mountains off-roading or anything. Like I said, you don't want these posts to come off, and that battery is 60 pounds, and if any sort of accident or wreck, even on the highway, if you're not even in the mountains, you want a secure battery. I don't know if you can see that in there. Get the rust neutralized, cut out the damaged portion here. We're going to make a plate. Alright, scrap piece of metal. Took the rust off a little bit. Scored 2 edges on it. Folded it. And then I'm going to run a weld down here to strengthen this here. Alright, so original, rusted out. This was some of the fender that we cleaned off. That's what the owner tried to use, is typical shucks plastic piece of crap. Just kept rocking back and forth, wouldn't hold the battery secure. So this buddy is plenty thick. Scored it with the cutoff wheel, bent it up in the vise, re-welded the edge to make it stronger. Then I tack weld carriage bolt on top, because this one's easier to bolt from the bottom, and then these two we will put up from the bottom up. And last thing I got to do is drill 2 holes for the J hooks to attach the top. Alright, just about there to get the project done. I used a little bit of angle grinder with the cutoff wheel, a little Dremel with the metal cut off. Anytime you're drilling metal, make sure to use a good cutting fluid. This is like a cutting oil I use when I do taps, but I usually use it drilling metal as well, so it keeps your bits good. One trick, see if we can get in here, is to cut these bolts off. And if anybody has cut some bolts off, put the nut down on first, so when you back the nut off, it will redo the thread at the very end. Now I'm not quite done with these because I'm not sure if these are going to be short enough yet, and then I'll clean a little bit of that extra metal off. But when you do that, keep the nut on there, and that'll help keep the threads. And I'm going to do the same on here. I'm going to shorten that guy down so it's not sticking up. I don't quite need all that room here. Thinking about redoing the top here. You can see the rubber gets a little cracked, and but I don't like having a metal support here unless I coat it with a good rubber, which I may do in the future. But otherwise we'll put that on. Just started Jubal Ale on tap. It's winter ale. Excuse me, you wouldn't know it by the weather. We are having a gorgeous day out here. Alrighty, now carriage bolts is what I use for this, and they can be a little tricky because the square head underneath that round off dome should have a square hole to go in. I don't usually use it that way. I use the nut and have it pull through a round hole. It helps lock that in. If I needed to, I could tack weld it like I did on top with the other one, but this way I won't have any tire issues coming down. I was always sort of worried if I flexed real hard and put a tire up in this wheel well, it's going to be rubbing on a few bolts. And I've got a few right here, and those are coming out because that's holding in something I don't use. Now as I'm putting everything together, I'm actually using a little dielectric grease on everything. Dielectric grease is a grease that will transfer electricity. I use it on all electric connections. It helps force water out, keeps corrosion down, and works really well. Now you can see the reason I don't really like having a metal hold down strap, because from this post to this post, even this tiny little wrench could bridge that and easily put a short in the battery, knock out some fuses, stuff like that. And with this being metal, if it wasn't coated in rubber, that cuts your distance in half. You'll be able to bridge that. And I've seen it happen. Wrenches fall, or you start tightening this over here, and next thing you know, as you're tightening this, it comes down and hits that post, and they'll weld themselves together, and it's not a good thing. A little battery safety. With safety in mind, I always pull my extinguisher out from behind the seat and have it out and ready while I'm working on the battery or anything like that. I have another project which I might put together a short video of some of the stuff I did to it, where I was dealing with gas and whatnot, and I had that project going over there, and over here I had a project where I was, welding and grinding and cutting metal with sparks everywhere, and I had a good distance in between, but safety first.